That's right, Rick. When people think of volunteers in Greece, they often imagine them taking part in rescue missions, risking their own lives to save those trying to cross the dangerous waters between Turkey and Greece. But there are also hundreds of people giving out food, clothing, providing medical attention, and other tasks. I spoke to some Canadians in Lesvos about what it's like to be on the front lines of Europe's refugee crisis.
Several infants crying. Families arriving on inflatable boats, cold, exhausted and wet, some in desperate need of medical attention.
Okay, you have a doctor there?
These are some of the sights and sounds that volunteers on Lesvos say they can't erase from their memory.
Sometimes you can sort of block it out because you know that you have to go through with it and not break down or think about what you're feeling. You have to go and help people.
With so many refugees and migrants arriving on the Greek island, volunteers from around the world have stationed themselves to help, from lifeguards out on the water.
We do have thermal camera, so we can spot boats from a distance, but you're not always 100% sure until the boat is nearby and you can, visually make out people.
To those on the island, welcoming, feeding and providing dry clothing for asylum seekers. A wide range of roles being filled by independents, small nonprofits and large NGOs. The work is very unpredictable as weather plays a large factor on the number of landings. Not many dinghies arrived to the shores of Lesvos Island in the past few days. Heavy winds, significant rainfall, and even snow causing treacherous conditions for refugees and migrants out on the water. But today, as you can tell, the sun is shining again, and volunteers in this camp behind me are preparing themselves for a busy day with many arrivals.
These people are fleeing war, and there's their family units. There's fragmented family units because of, say, loss of life, or maybe the entire family couldn't afford the trip.
But even on the worst days, some refugees are sent out onto the dangerous waters.
Little kids in inflatable life jackets, it just doesn't make sense.
Refugees board the dinghies in Turkey.
It's really like the doctors, the engineers, the nurses, the teachers, whatever profession, it's those people from their respective societies.
Smugglers often give them a crash course on how to operate them, and then they're left to fend for themselves on the water, leading to some dangerous landings on the shore for those that make it that far.
There's rocks, there's many rocks, some just below the surface, and those ones, if the boat's coming in at an odd angle, it'll flip the boat.
But many volunteers say no matter what conditions they arrive in, there's one constant.
They're usually very positive. They're very happy to be here, and they're very cheerful, obviously very shocked and scared, but at the same time very happy and very grateful to all of us.
Neetu Garcha, Global News, Lesvos.
And Rick, since I got back to Canada from Lesvos a week and a half ago, a lot has changed for volunteers on the island. Some of those currently on the ground say the Greek Coast Guard is streamlining the arrival and registration process by intercepting and bringing refugees and migrants to the northern part of the island. So many volunteers are waiting to see how their roles will be impacted by the changing political situation.
Now, Neetu, you mentioned to me, I think it indicates just how confusing the situation could be, is that some volunteers actually found themselves arrested for helping too much.
That's right. It was 5 volunteers. They were Danish and Spanish, and they were arrested while I was there. They were charged with not telling the Greek Coast Guard before they went out on a rescue mission, which is a law. They have to advise the Coast Guard before they go out and actually help on the water, which they're charged with not doing. They have been released on bail, but their arrest has discouraged some volunteers and has them worried about what will happen to them if they're out on the waters helping, particularly for lifeguards. And
you were saying that if they bring people actually back from their boat onto another boat and back to shore to rescue them, that could be illegal immigration. So it's really quite a confusing situation.
Quite the situation,
yeah.
Yes.
Thanks very much for your first-hand reports this week. Neetu Garcha in the studio with us tonight.